It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
I want to break free. I want to break free. I want to break free from your lies. You're so self-satisfied. I don't need you. I've got to break free.
Yeah, I got to break free. That's what, and how are we going to do that? Well, you need some information from people that know what they're doing. Now, we have Dave on from escapeharassment.com. Now, the one thing that we've been discussing is that you have different levels to make sure that you don't fall into their bureaucratic trap. Because once they create a checkbox, it's like, Ernie, be paying us some money or going to jail or whatever, and we got all these checkboxes to make sure that happens. Well, what happens when you throw a big giant hurdle, all of a sudden, hey, man, you can't check off your box. Then what? Well, that's what they're talking about. Now, we're going to go through, they have testimonials, they have, class, they have money-back guarantee. I like money-back guarantees. Now, let's go ahead and talk with Dave. Now, Dave, help me out here.
Right.
As I'm going through this process, being right never means anything to these people.
So because they have a propensity, as you've mentioned, to ignore the law and due process, they drag you into some pre-trial meeting or hearing, sometimes called a child custody discussion or a status hearing or a case management hearing or a arraignment or mental evaluation.
Pre-trial conference or something.
Pre-trial conference, right, those kind of things. That's when you need to know from strategy number 2, you need to know what to say and what to not say to avoid being tricked into that acceptance trap or the appearance trap a second time. And of course, as you say, these people ignore due process and ignore the law. If they ignore it a second time and drag you into an actual court, then you have to be prepared. Preparation. Knowledge is power. That's why the Howard Griswold Research Group has developed this strategy number 3, which is the 6 disclaimers and demands that you are entitled to under your due process. And once you've made those 6 demands, they cannot answer. They cannot comply with those 6 demands, and they have to capitulate. But in order to save face, they will not allow the audience or the gallery in court to realize that you've effectively beat them. They will trump up some excuse to dismiss your case or drop the charges, such as, was the window up or down? And, of course, the people in the audience will not understand what that has to do with anything, which actually is nothing. But that'll give them an excuse, a pretense to say, well, we're going to give you 3 weeks to restate your position, and you better be back here at a certain date and certain time, and we'll have the court clerk notify you by mail. And they never do. They never do because they cannot answer those 6 disclaimers. And
how long has this been going on? How long have you been doing this?
40 years, ever since the Arab oil embargo, the phony oil shortage back in 1972, when we first realized something was rotten in Delaware in our case. And that's when we began doing the research and networking with groups and individuals, such as the Howard Griswold Research Group.
So how many people have purchased this product, have taken on this advice, have used this?
Oh, we don't keep track. There's been too many over the years. We didn't start counting.
Well, hundreds, thousands?
Hundreds. I would say hundreds.
Now,
possibly thousands.
Now, I've heard this, these arguments before, and a lot of the research has been, either redone, reformulated, done. You guys have been around, probably one of the early ones, around a long time.
Well, through the years, we've refined it, and that's why this process is tried and proven, and it's experienced process. It is not experimental, like so many groups, and we have a money-back guarantee that what we teach works.
Well, how much are we talking about here? If I want to take
there are testimonials, which you also mentioned, from previous students, success testimonials, that this process works. The strategy number 1 is a $150. The strategy number 2, if you get taken to a pretrial hearing, that's a second $150. And if they, again, ignore the law and ignore due process, strategy number 3 is a third $150. And for those who want to do the background research, they can go to the sister website, which is posted on the escapeharassment.com website. The sister website is peoples-rights.com. They can do the mail order research and background information. For those who do not have the time or inclination and they just want the answers, the quick fix, They just want to know what to do about it right now, and they don't care who, what, when, where, why, or how, and they don't care about the research. They can go to the electronic, which is the escapeharassment.com, and they get the immediate what to do about it right now, and they can do the research later if they so choose.
This takes a certain level of self-confidence to where because they're going to intimidate you. They're going to be guys in uniforms and guns standing there staring you down, and you got to be willing to say no. I'm just asking these questions.
Well,
you're supposed to do this, and they're not.
Right. That's a confrontational approach, which we do not recommend. We recommend go ahead and take the ticket and get the name and address of whoever's giving you the ticket or the summons or the process. Get their business card, and then you know who to return the documents to. You've got the business card with their name and badge number and mailing address for their troop or barracks or business office, and then you know who to return the documents by delivery confirmation or certified mail. One way, do not use the green return receipt postcard. Because what goes on the back of the green return receipt postcard? Your name and address. Well, that's beneficial to somebody and detrimental to you, so you've just made appearance. That's the definition of appearance. If you do anything that's beneficial to any party or detrimental to any party, you have made appearance. So do not use the green return receipt postcard with your certified, or just go for the delivery confirmation. Then you do not have to worry about it because they don't give you a green return receipt postcard, and you've still got a stub proving that you mailed it. You do not have to prove they got it. All you've got to prove is you don't got it anymore. And that's the Postal Service's stub delivery confirmation. You photocopy that and send that along to the court clerk as a neutral, anonymous, courtesy copy that you've returned all the documents to the issuing party or presenter of the document.
Well, I know a lot of activists that, we can do some testing on this. I mean, this will be interesting to be able to. So you go ahead and you accept the ticket. You got it. You find out who issued it, who to send it back to. You send it back, and you got proof that, hey, man, I don't got it. Okay, you got it.
Immediately. You can't dilly-dally. You cannot procrastinate or postpone because they proceed until you put the brakes on by serving that neutral, anonymous courtesy copy to the court clerk that they have not accomplished acceptance, and there is no contract and agreement for you to come and lie and fraudulently misrepresent that you are the fiction defendant, because live natural people are not a fiction, and they're not the fiction, all capital letter name, dummy defendant. So why go to someone else's hearing? It's not you. It's not for you. Live people do not have government property ID number.
Okay, now
defendant
Dave,
always has.
Let me make a, what's your position at Escape Harassment? I mean, you've been with them for a long time?
What do you mean position? All we teach is what the law says, and the law says the definition of a contract
this is my point.
The acceptance.
No, we're running short on time, so let me speak for a moment, Dave. This is what I want to do to help you out. There are many activists that are constantly harassed, given tickets, going to the Liberty on Tour guys, Pete Eyre and Ademo, they're constantly being arrested, and they got a new gentleman. What's his name? Bo? Yeah, Bo is just last week in Keaton. They're constantly being arrested for stuff. And I'm going, now they have to go around the country going back for these court appearances. And I'm wondering if you're willing, hold on after during the break here, because I want to talk to you about seeing if we can use some of these guys or an activist as an example and walk it through. And if we get, some success with this, I'm telling you what, man, people are going to be beating down your door wanting to be able to do what you're doing if it can be demonstrated how it works. So go ahead and stay right there. It's escapeharassment.com.